If you like this video, click like. If you want to continue to follow our adventure, hit subscribe. Your support would be greatly appreciated.
Hello, the House on the Road subscribers and followers. I'm asked quite regularly here recently for some reason about free campsites and just different things about free campsites. And one of those questions is how difficult is it to stay, I guess, extended periods at free campsites, which until we had this little emergency, we've only stayed at free campsites, which means we have no water, no electricity, and no sewer. So how difficult is it to live without those three conveniences at a paid campsite? And I think I know why the question is all of a sudden starting to pop up, is people are wanting to come snowbirding down south and all of the paid campsites are used up. Which leaves a lot of room for free campsites. But let me start out with van dwellers stay at free campsites. That's all they do is boondocking. It's not like we are doing anything really much different than van dwellers. I think you could compare us closer to van dwellers than you could RVers. So let me communicate to the RVers out there what us nomads do. So let's talk about the three things. Water. Water, I have documented over and over and over again how we obtain water. A lot of these free campsites already have water. Some of them less desirable to use than others because there's a lot of rust in National Forest water. But I've made a lot of videos about where you can get water. You can ask for them at gas stations. You can get them. You can buy water. You can ask for them at restaurants. And there's spigots all over the place. Always ask. That way they don't lock them up or whatever. But when we were in Virginia and West Virginia, there were natural springs. If you're going to do that, though, make sure you either boil your water or filter in a reliable filter before you drink it. But we've always had enough water to always drink, be able to do our dishes, be able to do our laundry, and get a shower every 2 to 3 days. Now it's colder, we get them about every 3 days. When it's hot, we get it every 2 days. But when it's chilly, we just every 3 days. One, because it's cold and you don't always want to take a shower. But two, it's just because you don't get that dirty. And what we have is six or seven buckets, 5-gallon buckets that we just go fill up every 3 or 4 days. We just go get water, but it's just part of the routine. And that is probably the biggest challenge as far as convenience at a paid site is going to get the water. But if I had more buckets, which is absolutely an easy thing to do, I just haven't done it, I could go get 10, 12 buckets. And every time we go grocery shopping, just fill up the water buckets. And we'd be fine. Now, your system would have to work where you could do that. You can't just fill a tank up. I guess you could take the buckets and you could siphon it into your water tank, which is, you could do. But it just takes a little extra labor. Not a big deal. Number 2 is sewer. Well, I've documented, I'll put a link to this, on how we use the bathroom to go number 2. And I'll put a link to that video right here. And so we don't have black water as a result of this. Or you can go to National Forests that have vaulted toilets, pit toilets, whatever you want to call them, and you can use those too. And a lot of National Forest campgrounds have these things, so it's not like it's hard to find. I cannot think of a national forest that we have stayed at that did not have toilets. Not off the top of my head. So, now if you're going to go out in the woods like we've done before, out in boondocking, they don't have toilets, so you have to use the method that I pointed out in that video. So that means that you're disposing of your waste differently. You're throwing them in trash cans. You're not having to move around and do all these things to get rid of your black water. So, problem solved. You can park it there for 2 weeks, which we have. We've parked this camper for 6 solid weeks without moving. We didn't have to go dump water. So what about gray water? Well, gray water, we put it into a bucket and just dump it into the pit toilet. This is not a big issue. We don't use a lot of water. Well, what about taking showers? You're going to say, well, when we take showers, we use a lot of water. Well, we use a shower tent. And I would even suggest if you have an RV with a shower, that you use the shower tent, because then you're not filling up your gray water tank. Use natural soaps, biodegradable soaps, ivory soap, those kind of things. That way you're not hurting the environment, and you can still take your shower without filling up your gray water tank and having to transport that someplace else, because you don't want all that nasty gray water mixed in with your shower water. But we only use, I think, 10 gallons every week in the gray water. And then finally, the last one, electricity. Electricity to me is one of those things that I dread. I don't know why I dread it. Starting up the generator. That's what we do. We run a generator. It would be better if we had solar, but being where we have been so far this year, solar would not have done us much good. Very shady areas in National Forest on the east side. But just some reason I dread using it in the mornings when I get up. But I don't know why. It's not that difficult to use. You start it up, turn on the battery chargers, charging batteries. That's it. So as far as it being difficult, yes, it's probably more difficult than a paid site, but it's a lot less difficult than trying to find a paid site that doesn't exist. I'm telling you, life as a nomad has been very, very nice. And it just is not that hard to do. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video. And happy travels.